The memorial's last post ceremony will begin in a few minutes once visitors have arrived in the commemorative area from the galleries. If you wish to lay a wreath or floral tribute, please make yourself known to staff in the commemorative area forecourt. The commemorative cards on wreaths and floral tributes will be catalogued and archived by the memorial and kept in perpetuity. The service will be broadcast live via webcam onto the Australian War Memorial's website. Feel free to take photographs or film the service, and we encourage you to post your photos on the memorial's Facebook page or Flickr. To maintain the dignity of the service, we ask that visitors be respectful and quiet throughout the ceremony. In particular, please remain still during the reading and whilst the bugler plays the last post. We would appreciate if parents could closely supervise small children. Should you have a mobile phone, please turn it to silent. For your safety and that of others, please do not sit on the stonework or ledges. Thank you. Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Craig Burrell, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Warrant Officer Class 1, Michelle Wyatt. Please stand and join in singing the Australian National Anthem.
Toil
The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families, friends, and Australians could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured for us and what they had done. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed at the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved. And here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read a story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and other operations over more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Those of you who would like to lay a wreath or floral tribute at the base of the pool of reflection, please come forward and do so now.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private John Simpson Kirkpatrick. John Simpson was born in Shields in Country Durham and joined the Merchant Marine at the age of 17. This led him to Australia, where after jumping ship, he took a series of jobs ranging from cane cutting to coal mining and enlisted in the AIF weeks after the outbreak of the Great War. Simpson was posted to the 3rd Field Ambulance as a stretcher bearer and to his great disappointment was sent to Egypt for training instead of back to the United Kingdom. From there, the bearer division of the 3rd Field Ambulance landed at Anzac Cove at 4:30 a.m. in the pre-dawn darkness of the 25th of April 1915. They landed under heavy shrapnel and rifle fire, but Simpson avoided being one of the casualties. For several days following the landing, there was great difficulty establishing a system to retrieve wounded men from the gullies and the poorly defined tracks above Anzac. The fighting units were muddled together, and there was no specific information as to where the 3rd Field Ambulance could find men in need of assistance. From the 26th, Simpson took a donkey up the Monash Valley to carry slightly wounded cases and has kept up his work from early morning till night every day since. This was an arduous journey that could take as long as 3 hours each round trip. He kept up his self-appointed task for 3.5 weeks, and then on the 19th of May 1915, he was shot suddenly by a sniper's bullet and died, aged 22. John Simpson Kirkpatrick's actions at Gallipoli earned him distinction and admiration from the men who saw him then and from the Australian nation ever since. He and his donkey, sometimes known as Murphy, at other times Duffy, are perhaps the most well-known pair of Australians from the First World War. Simpson's 3-week career on Gallipoli has come to represent much more to the Australian memory of what happened at Anzac. His story has been used for propaganda and political purposes and entered the canon of the Anzac spirit. But before he was a legend, John Simpson Kirkpatrick was one of many men in Gallipoli doing their best in a muddled and dangerous situation. He was sadly missed by his mother and sister in South Shields, who were ever after proud of their boy. His name is listed on the roll of Lorna on my right, along with around 60,000 others from the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of courage and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private John Simpson Kirkpatrick and all of those Australians who have given their lives in service to our nation. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial, and good evening.